إذاعة الجزائر الدولية، صوتنا في العالم.
With Radio Algeria International, you will not miss a single major political or economic event. Radio Algeria International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
The World Bank Group has ranked Algeria in the upper middle income category for the second consecutive year in its latest annual update of the classification of member countries' economies. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has congratulated the men's national basketball team for winning the Arab Basketball Championship. And as UNICEF warned that the children in the Gaza Strip were dying at an unprecedented pace on account of famine, the Israeli army pursued its bombardments, killing and wounding scores of Palestinians. Hello and welcome on Radio Algeria International. I'm Mariam Bershi. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has congratulated the men's national basketball team for winning the Arab Basketball Championship, which is being held in Manama, Bahrain. In his message, the President emphasized that the achievement has not been accomplished in 20 years. The speakers of the Council of the Nation and the People's National Assembly, Azouz Nasri and Brahim Boughali, have also congratulated the men's basketball team. The World Bank Group has ranked Algeria in the upper middle income category for the second consecutive year in its latest annual update of the classification of member countries' economies, coinciding with the start of the fiscal year running from the 1st of July to the 13th of June 2026. According to the classification, Algeria ranks among 10 African countries in the upper middle income categories alongside South Africa, Gabon, as well as Iran, Libya and Iraq in the Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan and Pakistan region. Last year, Algeria moved from lower middle income country to upper middle income country in the World Bank Group's classification. The Ministry of Finance stated at the time that the main factor contributing to our country's higher ranking is the complete revision of national accounts statistics undertaken by the National Statistics Office in order to align with current international standards. He also emphasized that this realignment reflects not only the GDP rebasement operation through an upward revision of GDP levels, but also other factors, such as the results achieved in recent years in terms of growth, the expansion of public investment, and the consolidation of productive and economic sectors, the strengthening of good governance of public finances, progress in improving methods of measuring and producing statistical data in public administration, and better coverage of the unobserved economy. A joint delegation from both houses of Parliament has held a meeting with the delegation from the Federal Assembly of the Republic of Austria on the sideline of its 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliament held in Geneva, Switzerland. The joint Algerian delegation from both houses of Parliament participating in the conference, including the Vice Speaker of the Council of the Nation, representing the Speaker of the Council of the Nation, Mr. Rabah Baghali, and the Vice Speaker of the National People's Assembly, representing the National People's Assembly, Mr. Monder Bouden, as well as Senators Amri Dahane Ammar Dashar and Deputies Salem Benito and Seghir Sassi. And as UNICEF warned that the children in the Gaza Strip were dying at an unprecedented pace on account of famine, the Israeli occupation army pursued its bombardment, killing and wounding scores of people. Palestinian sources said that 22 Palestinians were killed in the Israeli bombardments, including 12 others who were queuing to receive some food. This came as the Deputy Director General of UNICEF deplored the conditions of the Palestinian population, saying that the UN, its agencies and NGOs were at a turning point and that the choices made today will determine the survival of the death of thousands of children. During his visit to Gaza, the fourth of the like since the Israeli army launched its attacks on the enclave, the UN official affirmed that over 18,000 were killed on since October 7, 2023, and stressed the necessity to at least 500 lorries to provide food and humanitarian aid. In this connection, the former ambassador of the Palestinian state, Salman al-Harfi, urged all the peoples around the world to stand with the Palestinian people and more particularly Europe and the Western countries to put more pressure to bear on the Israeli government.
Israel is completely unmasked before the whole world. That is not democracy, it's fascism, neo-Nazism. We much appreciate the European position to recognize the Palestinian state, but it is insufficient. The Western countries must put pressure on Israel, impose sanctions as they did for other countries. But now there are genuine pretexts that Israel is killing children. Israel is occupying territories and is violating the international law. The reason why we call on all the peoples around the world, and more particularly Europe, which has always supported Israel, with whom it shares 80% of its trade, it is necessary to put pressure on Israel, not to sell arms to Israel, give donations and boycott Israel, as they did in the past for South Africa.
It is worth recalling Finland's President Alexander Stubb announced his readiness to recognize the state of Palestine if the request was put forth by the government. The first meeting of the Joint Monitoring Committee for the Peace Agreement signed by the governments of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda was held in Washington in the presence of observers from the United States, Qatar and Togo. During the first meeting, the parties discussed the progress achieved as part of the implementation of the peace agreement. The further details about the meeting were disclosed. Let's recall that on June 27th, the foreign ministers of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda signed a peace agreement in Washington under the auspices of Qatar and the United States. The agreement provides for respect for territorial integrity, a ban on military operation, disarmament, and conditional integration of non-state armed groups, and the creation of a joint security coordination mechanism. The process of implementing this agreement was to begin within 30 days of its signing. Talks on this future agreement are due to begin no later than on August 8th, with signing provisionally scheduled for August 18th. A meeting between the presidents of the DRC and Rwanda is scheduled for the end of August in Washington to reach a comprehensive peace settlement in the region. And in South Africa, South African products exported to the US will be hit by 30% tariff on August 7th, President Donald Trump announced. South Africa faces the highest rate in sub-Saharan Africa, reflecting Trump's strained relationship with the government of President Cyril Ramaphosa. Other African nations, including Nigeria, Ghana, Lesotho and Zimbabwe, have been hit with a 15% tariff, which will also come into effect in 7 days. The decision is a huge blow to South Africa, as the US is its second biggest trading partner. Looking across the whole continent, including North Africa, export from Algeria and Libya will now also incur a 30% tariff at the US border. And in Vietnam, flash floods have struck mountainous north region overnight, killing at least 3 people, while 9 others are missing. Heavy rain of up to 30 centimeters triggered the floods in several provinces, isolating several communities. And now a reminder of today's top stories. The World Bank Group has ranked Algeria in the upper middle income category for the second consecutive year in its latest annual update of the classification of member countries' economies. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has congratulated the men's national basketball team for winning the Arab Basketball Championship. As UNICEF warned that the children in the Gaza Strip were dying at an unprecedented pace on account of famine, the Israeli occupation army pursued its bombardment, killing and wounding scores of people. That's it for today's news bulletin. Stay tuned on Radio Algeria.